So we move on to the next match of the evening, and it is Oedo Tai, or if you want to call them, Gold Chip. Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima taking on Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi, Tam Nakano, and Saki. This was actually probably my match of this show because I really enjoyed this one. Just everything that's coming out of Momo Watanabe right now and Saki Kashima, they're both, I think, are just stepped up their game. Absolutely. Like, they're really, like, there's been a couple shows where I've seen Kashima be a little sloppy, but she's always trying to get better. And and Momo has really, look, I think it was the Goddess tournament, and this has really gotten me to really be a big fan of Momo. And the match from last week or a week or two ago at February 4th, I thought she was with Saya, really great match. Again, I didn't expect much from that, and I was really blown away by that one. But I thought great. It's hard to say this because I have to go Kashima for. I'm going to say Kashima for Oedo Tai Saki, and then Saki for Saki.
Yeah.
Saki getting that beautiful brainbuster on Tora, but Tora just rolling right back up and hitting that Samoan drop on Saki, showing that you can drop me on my head, but I'm getting right back up, and I'm going to come right back at you. It's absolutely phenomenal. Just a lot of power from Tora in this, just dominating all three women from Cosmic Angels because she's bigger than them all for sure. I'm just gonna get to the finish here.
Sure.
Natsupoi and Saki get the suplex high cross combo onto Kashima for 2, and then Kashima tries to get the surprise Kishikase onto Natsupoi, but Nat ends up rolling her up with what they called the Kishikase reversal for the win. It's literally was listed as a Kishikase reversal. Yeah, I was like, huh, that's okay, interesting. That one of her moves is literally the name of the reversal. I guess it's because it was the reverse of the Kishikase, but yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
As long as it allows a Melball to learn what the move is called, we're gonna take it. I mean, I have to tell you, when I first started watching Stardom, Tora was obviously still out on injury with that torn, messed up knee that she had from her match with Utami. When she got back into the ring, holy hot diggity dang, we don't know what hit us. She's almost like the Lance Archer of kind of Stardom here, where she scares the children, but she's very over with the crowd, with the crowd, that we will talk about in the next show.
Like, I really personally feel like I think Tora's return to Oedo Tai is kind of what really got me interested in this team, because like when the first couple of months of us doing this show,
you didn't like
and I was just like, to me they were just another House of Torture. I don't like saying that now because they have similarities, but they're far, far, far more entertaining. Yes, they have their stuff they do where they attack before the bell constantly, where they like the brawl on the outside and use weapons, but it's not their cheating isn't their entire identity though.
So back to what I was saying here.
Sorry.
Tora tricked Tam at the beginning there, trying to lure her in with a handshake. Tam not going for it initially, but eventually, the cutesy little girl will be like, okay, and getting, beaten up for it. This was when the Oedo Tai did their typical outside-ish, going into the crowd, throwing the people around, having fun with that. Once they got back into the ring, Poi got worked over really, really, really badly by these three. They pretty much just took turns beating the holy heckin' crap out of her. But thank goodness for Saki coming in to kind of help her out in that respect. Saki really, I agree with you, really, really shone in this match for me. I've always loved Saki. She's been such a nice little addition to the Cosmic Angels. I love that she does the choreography with them at the beginning, and what I especially love is she obviously has her own poses separate from the Cosmic Angels that she had with colors coming into this, but she still integrates that into the intro dance, because you can see Tam does her little thing and points like, yeah, and then there's Saki, yeah, like it's really, really a joy for me. That like it's so silly, but the entrance really does pull everything together for me. It makes it very, very well rounded. The one thing that I really liked that Saki and Poi did, Saki caught, I think it was Kashima, into a suplex. And then Poi did the flying crossbody off the top turnbuckle into the body of her to take her over for the move. Thought that was really, really
Yeah,
good.
that was right at the end. That was that suplex side
Yeah.
cross combo that because she
Yeah,
had
I
caught
really,
Saki
really
and
like
set her
that.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I really, really like that. And then, oh, the Natsupoi's drop kicks when she has her opponent propped up on the bottom rope. She is nasty with those. So nasty. Guess we know who
Well,
she could take with if she can ever came to Canada, man. But yeah, those things are stiff, 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 stiff. She might be a little pixie, like space pixie. Don't let that fool
yeah.
you. She
On
got
that point
moves.
at her drop kick, there was a great sequence in this where Saki hit the big boot, sending Kashima into the ropes, and then Tam comes in running and smashes her with the knee in the ropes, which is
Mm-hmm.
almost just as devastating as that drop kick. And then
Mm-hmm.
she fall. That was on the second rope. Then she fell to the bottom rope. That's where Natsupoi comes flying in with the drop kick. Like,
Mm-hmm.
love that sequence of the boot to the knee to the drop kick. It looked
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
good.
And like I said, Poi's really kind of like she's nasty with those things. She tucks her knees in and extends fully. She boots you really good. This one was really fun. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, I had a great time with this one. Again,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this is probably my match of the night. Again, big fans of I'm really big fans of everybody in this. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
plus for me. But we move on to the third Triangle Derby match tonight. And it is God's Eyes Andre, Mirai, and Syuri taking on the team of Power, Passion, Pineapple, Nanae Takahashi, Yuna Mizumori, and you. I guess sorry, God's Eye. Their team name is Aribono God's Eye, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot to add. I didn't edit that out of the cage. I usually copy and paste the list from Cage Match, and then they start doing my notes underneath, and I have to
Ah,
change the
okay.
names. Cage Match usually has their unit names, not their team names for the tournament.
Ah, fair,
This
fair,
is a
fair, fair.
this was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yuna Mizumori. This girl is so flippin' good. She
Mm-hmm.
has that strength and power that you and Nani has, but she has incredible speed. Like just moving all over. She's so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And her energy, the energy level that she brings
mhm.
to her wrestling too, helps elevate all of the things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I find her a breath of fresh air in the last little
Yeah.
bit of of watching Stardom because she's so different, but she gives a different edge to Power Passion Pineapple. Like
Yes.
before when we were talking about with them in the Goddess tournament, we were like, there's these big dominant hard hitting girls, but Yuna in this trios gives them a little bit of a softer edge, lets them be
Mm-hmm.
like a little more like I can't not approachable, but you know what I mean in that
Humanity.
sense where less menacing, but they're still tough as hell. She kind of gives them
Yeah.
that little more friendly, happy feeling, but they're still menacing and tough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They definitely soften, like especially you. I
Mhm.
love you. She's a powerhouse, but man, once we get to the end, I've definitely got something to say about that. Um, this was definitely what's that phrase? Big meaty people slapping meat. Nane and you are just so powerful, but then you have Ami and Mirai who do those stereo choppity machine gun chops,
Mm.
and it's the whole match. All you hear is smacking, 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 smacking. Again, love Suri. I'm loving her without the title. Um, Almost don't want to see her have it again. I kind of like how she's looking, she's playing, like she's working with her team and still looking dominant as hell. Can't really argue with this one. What did I have here? Lots of chaos in this match with the pairing offs.
Hmm.
Nani and Suri having some really good, strike and move exchange there, and also Mirai and you again. Oh, these two. I know there's history there. I know I've heard of it. I clearly need to look into it to understand it a little bit more because, man, you especially, massive, massive attitude. whenever Mirai is kind of like nearer around her.
Well, let's get to the end then. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about the finish because was it Nanae and you were going for their double Razor's Edge, and Mirai gets out, counters out, and she gets the Kimura or the
Miramari.
The Miramari. I have it written on the next match because it actually the Miramari onto you, but the time the bell goes and it's behind the time limit draw, and this is where Mirai lets it go, and you just comes after her, like after the match is over, and it's just like holy crap, what's going on here?
Yeah, and this is something that like I've mentioned it before because it happened again in the Goddess of Stardom Championship tournament where when they had their match, the same thing. It came down to you and Mirai being the last two in the ring. And again, you super like I don't want to sound crass, but she was very disrespectful, is what it is. It just smacking her up after the bell. And now this, I was like, I love you. Not you, but her, you. Yeah, I like you too. Okay. Yeah, anyway, with you, it's very weird because it's like she does come off when Yuna, especially, is around a lot more nicer, a little bit more soft, attitude wise, not heavy hitting wise. I feel like Nanae and you actually hit harder now. That Yuna has kind of come into the team. But yeah, the following after, and Mirai, I mean, bless her heart, just sat there, took it, and then just sat there like almost confounded, like what in the flying fruitcake is going on right now? Andre, what do you think of that?
I really found it kind of odd because it just seemed kind of like I get it, like I've seen the intensity between them, but it's just like, but I think it's also Ami and Mirai are going to eventually get a shot at those tag team titles, and I could see them being the team to unseat them, being that now Micah and Hemika are breaking up with Hemika retiring. I really thought they were eventually going to be the team to take it. I could see it being Ami and Mirai at this point. I really could because just this rivalry seems like between Mirai and Ami, or Mirai and you very much. But I got to give props to Yuna in this. She did she half did the dingle dangle in this match. She turned it over, did the Billy Goat's curse.
It was a dingle, not a dangle.
She did the Billy Goat's curse, but she didn't grab the arms and pull her up. So I was expecting when she flipped her over into him, like, oh, we're gonna get a dingle dangle from Yuna. But then I was like, oh, just a Billy Goat's curse. I was like,
dingle, not a dangle.
I was like, Mel's gonna be disappointed by that one.
I am. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah. And we're going to move on to the main event. It's Queen's Quest, Azumi, Saya Kamitani, and Utami Hayashishita, one of Mel's favorite of all time, taking on Revel enemy.
Not Revel.
If you look at the banners, they messed it up. Micah Ozaki, Maya, and Ram Kaichow.
See, did you hear how I always listen to the ring announcer. I always listen to the entrances and stuff like that. I know sometimes you skip them, but when the announcer and introduced her this time, he said Wukihu.
Oh, sorry.
So I was like, Wukihu.
Sorry.
I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Wukihu.
Okay, from now on, it'll be Maya Hee-hoo.
Jesus. But yeah, just want to shout out Utami. I finally got her on the NJPW Strong Spirits game. I have been trying to get this woman for 2.5 weeks. Dang it. But I finally got her, so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyway, Maya and Azumi, great chemistry, despite the massive height difference from Maya to Azumi. They had some very, very good in-ring exchange there. Really enjoyed that. Ram is like, I love her, but like more for her personality and the character she is than the in-ring stuff. Though she does kind of like, she's almost like a little bit of a comedy relief for me. With this one. Micah and Utami, though, I think were a big star in this match, especially. That backbreaker. Was that, I don't even know if that's what it was. I had no idea what was going on. Maika got Utami up into over the shoulders, flips her over her head, and then drops her back pretty much over her knee. I wrote it down as like
That
some
would be a
kind of weird backbreaker.
That's a backbreaker, yeah.
Yeah. The way Utami landed, though, right in the small of her back, bent her right over like a lawn chair. Oof. Ouch. But it was
Yeah.
great, these two. They were the power of their respective teams in this kind of showdown. I must be the Micah name, but like I am on the Micah train now. Like, and it's being driven by pretty much someone who looks exactly like Micah Ozaki too. It's crazy. Again, Suzuki, it's almost like Suzuki name, you know, when you take on the Suzuki name, you take on a certain amount of psychoticness. Um, Maybe the Micah name, you could take on a certain amount of power and dominance, but man, was she amazing in this match. I felt at the end, though, a little bit of a breakdown between Rebel Army there, a little bit of confusion, particularly coming from Ram's kind of involvement in there. Um, Sometimes she's really solid and on what she's supposed to be doing. Sometimes she's a little off. I felt like this was kind of one of those little off things. But yeah, the end of this was really fun. I felt. Do you want to
Yeah.
take it away from here?
Yeah, well, there's just a great sequence of the roll ups from Azumi
Yeah.
and Ram was just so much fun to watch. And then Azumi finally getting Ram into the Azumi sushi and getting the win. Like I
Mhm.
really like the way they finished it. Yeah, there's a big confusion running into that, and that led into that sequence. And
Mhm.
like it was Saya Kamitani going for that springboard splash to the outside, but taking out Queen's Quest inadvertently. And I thought that like right there, it was like, okay, we're getting the win for Rebel Enemy here. Because I
Mhm.
figured Sai would be down on the outside, same with Utami, and
Mhm.
Azumi would get rolled up and get hit with something and roll up. But the way it ended up going was really awesome. I did make a
Mhm.
note when Azumi and Maya were in there, and I said I want to see those two in a high speed title match.
Mhm.
But then we get the post match where Julia rolls out and starts talking to Maya, hee hee hoo,
Hee-hee-hoo.
hee hee hoo. But starts talking to Maya, and essentially, like I felt like she challenged her to be her next opponent, right? Like,
Yeah, I from what I got of the translation there, she pretty much challenged Maya, and Maya was like, "Yeah, I'll think about it."
yeah, it was really weird.
Bruh.
But Maya was just like, okay, like she's like, the champion wants to fight you. So I'd be like, yeah, I'll fight you. I'll take your goddamn belt. That's what I would say if I
Right?
was her. Yeah, it
She
felt really.
literally just offered you the biggest title in the company.
Mm-hmm. It was a weird spot, but I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing Julia and Maya
Yeah.
hee hee hoo wrestle.
And at the end of this one, that was funny though. Azumi acknowledging what just happened. It's just like, what happened? She's gonna think about it? Huh,
Yeah, because
okay.
Azumi's sitting there like I would say yes in a heartbeat. Like the look Azumi had, I was just like,
I
it's like
mean, she's the high speed champion for a reason. She's made good choices in her career. And
obviously
last thing I want to say with this one is just bow down to the queens. They're still in the run, and they still got a chance, as Azumi said.
it's true. It's very true.
Though they do
Well,
need to upload that or update that theme song because I'm not a big fan. They
we
should
will
come out to Utami's Crusader.
Yeah, we will update the points total at the end of when we get to the end of February 12th. I will give you guys an update on the points total after both nights are over. It'll be a little bit easier than me doing two because
Mm.
I actually have a graphic for after night 12 or February 12th. So